Hello again, I'm Dan. Welcome back to Vinyl Fury and another vinyl update video. Just a few records, a couple that, I've had kind of the pipe dream of having my own label someday, and I have a short list of records that I would want to put out on this label that have, never been available on vinyl before. Smaller records that came out at a time when vinyl was not in vogue, um, but would probably be accepted and well received to people who like these bands and vinyl records. Um, these were on my list, and I was happy to see that their label had decided to do it themselves. Hopesfall is a band from the post-hardcore screamo era. They had an album called The Satellite Years in 2002, I believe, which was heavily attached to this screamo genre. And I didn't get into them until this record, A-Types, in 2004, which was a shift in sound closer to what I liked at the time. More of a post-hardcore sound rather than the screamo thing. And for fans of the band, uh, it was a mixed reaction, I would say. But over time, I think this has been a more well received in general. And I really like it. 2004 was a pretty good year for music, as I recall. A lot of great records came out around that time. A lot of them I don't really listen to anymore. It very was much a time and place type of thing. It was my age at the time. But I still go back to this one. And I've wanted to have it on vinyl since I started collecting. It never was available before. And they did a bundle with the Satellite Years, this one and the one that comes after it, which is their last record that came out 10 years ago. And the reason kind of these are being put out is because the band is back together and doing a new album this year, which is very, very cool. And so the label decided to capitalize on that and reissue their albums on vinyl for the first time, at least a couple of them. So this is called A-Types from 2004, as I said. And this is a different cover than the original. All three of them have updated artwork based on the original, but I think all of them look better than the original ones. I really like what they did with this, and maybe I'll put the original artwork next to it. You can see what they did, and I think it's really cool. And they just happened to do it on one of my favorite colorways of all, which is orange and yellow, which matches the artwork, I think, very, very well. I think it looks great. Pressed in Czech Republic at GZ Vinyl. Pretty typical quality product from that factory. And it sounds a little bit better than I think I was expecting it to. It sounds like it was remastered to some degree. The original CD pretty bright, and the guitars were at times maybe slightly harsh in tone. And I still dialed back the treble on my receiver a notch, but overall it's a smoother frequency response, I think. And I asked the drummer, their former and now drummer again, Adam. We follow each other on Instagram. He has a pretty cool collection in the Instagram feed. I asked him if they were remastered, and he said he believed that this and the one that comes after it were, which it sounds like to me like they were. Not to a great extent, but I do think they sound a bit better than they originally did. And so what came after it is Magnetic North. Still kind of in the same sound as A-Types, and maybe a little heavier, I would say. But another great album. And this one is a gatefold, a double LP. And again, the artwork was updated, and again, I think it's a bit better. This one is on an orange with purple splatter, which I quite like as well. So like I said, it was released in a bundle of all three, and that bundle had 100 copies of an exclusive color, and then the other 400 were on different color. These are of the 400. I didn't feel the need to get satellite ears. However, I kind of wish I did, because these are already sold out and going for really high resale prices. I could have probably just paid for these by getting satellite ears and selling it, but oh well. The label did say that they are going to repress them, but they don't know when that's going to happen. So for anyone that is into the post-hardcore genre, that was listening to this type of music around the turn of the century, might be interested in checking. Well, if you've never heard these records, checking them out. Like I said, these records are less of the screamo vibe, more melodic, and melodic post-hardcore, I guess. I'm happy to see them on vinyl. Those are the only new purchases. I pre-ordered those back in November. But I did go to a pawn shop in the town where I grew up. I hadn't been there in years, just to see. I didn't expect to see records, but there was one crate, and it seemed like they all came from the same person, because they were all very, very similar, and they were all kind of electronic, ambient synth type of music, and most of them I didn't have anything from in my collection. It's not a genre that I have a lot of material from. And they were only $2, and I knew that most of them were definitely worth more than that. Unfortunately, a lot of them were not in the greatest condition. I could tell that they had been played a lot, and or with a stylus that was not appropriately weighted. It looked like the grooves were heavily worn. But I did manage to get a few that were in good condition. Kraftwerk, Autobahn. This is a pretty seminal album that I did not have. All I have from Kraftwerk is Computer World, which I really like. That's the only record that I had by them. So I got this, which I enjoyed listening to. And there was a few from Tangerine Dream that I picked up. This is Stratosphere, spelled with the word fear in there. Play on that word. Gatefold. I haven't listened to this one yet. I did listen to Rubicon, which I did like, and I think it was a UK pressing. I actually just sold that on Discogs, so I don't have that to show anymore. And this one is Phaedra by Tangerine Dream, also a gatefold. And this is a German pressing, which is pretty neat. And I never heard of this before, but it's in the same style of music, I believe. It's called Re-Entry, is the group or guy, I guess. And it's called White Noise 3. And it is a musical voyage through outer and inner space by David Vorhaus. So, yeah, I never heard of this. I think I sampled it briefly. And seemed like it was worth checking out. I haven't listened to the whole thing yet. And Klaus Schulze is a name that I've heard a lot in the VC and never had anything by. So I picked this up as well. This is Mirage, and this is a UK pressing as well. And it is also a gatefold. So pretty cool to find those for just $2. So I'm going to listen to those, and if I like them enough, I'll keep them. If not, I'll put them on Discogs. I'm actually in the process of putting all of my collection on Discogs, at least everything that I have that is on Discogs. I found a few of them that aren't. Some of them I've made entries for, but that is a bit of a process. But I decided to just put it all there, and then in the event that I want to sell something, it's much quicker. It's already there. I just choose to sell it. Or someone who is looking for that particular record can see that I have it in my collection. And, I'm trying to. I've noticed this from several people. The idea of having less, I think, is kind of in the zeitgeist right now. I've seen it a lot. I've heard talk of minimalism. I'm not going that far. But I have decided to just, I want to have less things. And I get in that mode every now and again. Last year, around this time, I started getting rid of some records. In all, I got rid of about 400. I would take them in badges to a record store, and whatever they didn't want to buy, I would just donate. And a lot I put on Discogs and sold there. And that felt pretty good. I had 4 boxes in my closet, and now I don't have any. It's all on the shelves. And there's still space on the shelves, which it hasn't really been for a while. And I still go through it from time to time. And like I say, I'm kind of opening up to the idea of letting go even more if the opportunity arises. And as I'm going through and adding to Discogs, I'm learning about my collection. A lot of things I have, I didn't know were foreign pressings or special editions of some sort, or worth more than I thought they were. And sometimes I'll come across something that's worth a lot more than I thought, and worth more than it is to me. So I'll list it. So yeah, it's kind of a process, and it's going beyond records for me too. I've gone through CDs, DVDs, clothes, and I'm just kind of right now in the mindset of I could probably have at least 30% less of my things, and my life would not certainly not be negatively affected by that. The opposite, I'm assuming. I've even gone back to my family home, gone through my storage there. I have so many trading cards from when I was a kid, comic books, and all kinds of stuff. And I'm going through that as well and trying to let it go in whatever way. So anyway, I too am kind of on the purging kick. I have been for a while. It's just continuing, and it's a process. So, again, I haven't purchased a whole lot, certainly. And I'm definitely more mindful of what I am purchasing and in what format. For instance, a new Minus the Bear record is coming out, and I had pre-ordered it on vinyl. It was like $21, and then I saw that the cassette is like $8, and it comes with a digital download, and I figured, that's quite a huge difference. It probably won't be a huge difference in my experience of it. So I'm going to go with the cassette for now and see how that goes. Same thing with other records and CDs. Is it worth it to pay much more? I already talked about this. So yeah, I just wanted to make a video. Hadn't in a little bit. I was thinking about doing the vinyl tag thing. I don't know that I will. But I do have right now almost exactly 1,000 records, aside from like 7 inches, which there aren't that many of. Yeah. So I've kind of balanced the collection. I've always kind of had it, or at least for the last several years, between 1,000 and like 1,200. And I kind of try to keep it in that range. If stuff comes in, eventually stuff goes out. So I just don't feel like I need much more than that. Especially not right now, not in this space. I have plenty. And I'm trying to be all right with that. So anyway, pretty loose video. I hope you're well, and I hope that you're dealing with this, in my opinion, trying time of our country and really the world. Really feels like we're taking steps backward. Whereas we had taken several steps forward, and it was looking pretty good. I don't really talk about politics too much, and I know that's not why people are watching this video. I never really truly paid a whole lot of attention until maybe this last year, because things seemed like I just wasn't all that concerned. And now I'm very, very concerned, and paying a lot more attention, and I feel a lot more things. Well, I have a lot more investment in what's going on. And anyway, I feel, I mean, personally, I'm not all that affected, and that sucks, because I know there are many people who are, many people that I know and care about, and it shouldn't be like that. We should all feel like we live in the same place, a place that feels the same to everyone, not that for some people is more restrictive and more uncertain, I guess. Anyway, all right, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Take care. Enjoy your music.